guys. Happy Boxing Day to you all. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas yesterday with your family and your holidays are going great. I'm back. I'm Lawrence Presman, the Prez, co-founder of Wager Talk Media. And today's college football betting show, bowl games. We're going to take apart a bunch of the bowl games, every one until Monday. We've got Dave Cokin and Teddy Covers joining us. And, well, because it's Boxing Day, we've got a couple of amazing promotions that you guys definitely want to take advantage of. Let's bring the boys in. Hey, Teddy, you're looking great, dude. How are you, man? How's your holidays been going?
Busy, lousy. How about you?
You know, I did like 4 days of skiing in Zermatt, Switzerland, a wonderful city. There's no cars allowed there. And then a week in Jamaica, man, at an all-inclusive resort with 4 children, my 2 girls, and my girlfriend's 2 boys, and I never want to eat at a buffet again. Dave Cokin, what's going on, my friend?
I'm still irritated about BYU the other night. That's a right side wrong result. And those are a bitch. If you had BYU in the game and watched it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That was a throwaway by the Cougars. But outside of that, everything's okay.
I had BYU myself. Guys, what we're going to do today is we're going to take apart Friday, Saturday, and Monday's bowl games, and then we're going to come back for the last show of the year on Monday and do the rest. Teddy, let's get right into it, brother. North Carolina -5.5, and a few 6s on the board. Over and under 43. They're playing Temple. Where are you going in this game?
You know, there's a lot of talk about Rod Carey's track record. When he was at Northern Illinois, now, of course, he's the head coach at Temple, and the Northern Illinois was very lousy in bowl games repeatedly in the Carey era. And the thought process that, okay, Carey doesn't care about bowls or bowls aren't any good. You know, he's not any good for bowl games. I'm not convinced that I buy that thought process. I'm really not. The MAC as a conference was dismal. This year as a conference, the MAC is not dismal. They have a winning track record in the postseason against the spread. So I think that the disrespect for the Temple side based on the coach is overrated. I'll just leave it at that. And North Carolina certainly hasn't been a team that I've been excited about laying points with all year. They play up or down to the level of their competition. They, in general, have been, you want to take points in North Carolina games. He's done pretty well this season. I think the total might be better than the side in this one. Certainly, when we look at the Tar Heels offense, it's a good offense. And the Temple, in terms of a yardage issue, they've had their red zone defense been real good. They give up yards, and the Tar Heels are a team that might be able to turn those yards into touchdowns. North Carolina's defense is not one that I'm excited about, so I think this game has the potential to be relatively high scoring, and I lean to the dog.
Dave, where are you at on this?
I made North Carolina -4, so the line offers a little bit of value on the Temple side, and it looks like a fairly close game to me. North Carolina's been involved in one after another close games this year, and like Teddy, I'm not really enthused about laying points with them. I also agree with him on the Carey opinion that he was just up against better competition in bowl games with the lesser team coming out of the MAC. Not necessarily the case anymore with a better Temple team.
He's Dave Cokin. Teddy Covers with us. You're watching the College Football Betting Show. Reminder, everybody, we are doing another show on Monday. It will be the last show of the year. Guys, we've got 2 amazing promotions today. A full year of Dave Cokin or Teddy Covers is $1,999. That's $1,999. For the Boxing Day weekend, I have taken $1,000 off of that price. A full year of Teddy or a full year of Dave Cokin for only $999. To give you perspective, Dave Cokin's baseball season will be about $800 alone. So that is a must-take advantage of deal. It's our Boxing Week special. It ends on Monday. So please head over to wagertalk.com. Use the promo code Teddy Boxing Day if you want Teddy, or Dave Boxing Day if you want Dave Cokin. Dave, we'll go to you first on this Michigan State game. -4 with a total of 50 against Wake Forest. What do you like in this one, my friend?
Michigan, there's no way I'm playing Michigan State, okay? I'm just not going to do it. I think the program's in a bit of disarray. Nevertheless, they are the more talented overall team here. Wake Forest, I think Dave Clawson's done a tremendous job with Wake Forest again, and he probably has the best player on the field with the quarterback. But man for man, they don't really match up all that well with Michigan State. That said, the way Michigan State has closed the season, I just can't get excited about them here. And if I'm playing this game, I'm either taking Wake Forest or I'm passing.
Teddy, you with Dave?
Well, I'm involved in this game right now. You can get the play at sportsmemo.com or wagertalk.com. So this is one that I have a bettable opinion on. So you can get that right now, locked and loaded.
Yeah, and or you can buy Teddy's entire full year, all his plays, every sport, half price, Teddy Boxing Day. Oklahoma State versus Texas A&M, Friday game. -5.5 for A&M. Some sixes on the board. 54 is the total. Teddy, I'll go to you first. Are you in play in this game?
Yeah, the money's showing for Oklahoma State literally as we speak. This was 6.5, and now we're 6, and now 5.5. So there's Cowboys money. It's not my money, I'll put it that way. And everyone knows, the Aggies the best 5-loss team in the country. When you lose to 3 number ones as well as Georgia and Auburn, you can't really complain about being a 5-loss team. All that said, Oklahoma State is another. You want to look at a good track record. Look at the dog in Oklahoma State games this year. They've been poor favorite. They've been good underdogs. They've stepped up in class fairly well. From a defensive standpoint, I do think the Aggies are the better of these two squads by a pretty big margin. That said, offensively, Okie State's moved the football against everybody all year long. So not a game I'm going to play that I'm even that close to playing. But I respect the class that the Aggies bring to the table for a 5-loss team. But Okie State may well be a live dog in this one.
Dave?
Same thing. I mean, and it's a game where my number's 5, maybe 5.5, depending on the status of a couple of Oklahoma State players. So there's just not enough value on either side for me to play. I think this is a game that, quite frankly, is lined where it's supposed to be, and I'll skip it.
Guys, quick reminder, the NFL presidential address for Week 17 is up tonight. Ralph Michaels and myself, it'll be on Wager Talk TV around 8:39 p.m. Eastern. So check that out. And we'll also have a great special for Ralph Michaels as well. Dave, USC playing Iowa. Iowa's -2, the total 51.5, all the way to 52.5. What are you doing in this one?
This is a play for me. It's up now as a best bet at wagertalk.com. So if you like the way things have gone for me in college football this year, you'll probably want to be on my side in this game.
There are so many stray cats in Jamaica. The only reason I'm making mention of that is you can see how red my nose is. I'm allergic to cats. I have been sneezing incessantly for 2 days. So if I have a sneeze or wipe my nose during the show, it's not insulting to my guests. Teddy, what are you doing in this one?
I'm not doing anything. I'm wondering what Dave's play is.
Well, Teddy, I think it's what is it, Dave? $25? I'll give you a half price special on that play, Teddy.
I appreciate that. But USC's A game is better than Iowa's A game. I believe that. But USC is everything that Iowa isn't in terms of discipline, focus.
Yeah.
You can count on the Trojans making mistakes, and Iowa is a team that doesn't beat themselves. I can picture a scenario in which the USC passing game gets going here. And I mean, the Trojans, they've thrown for more than 400 yards 4 times the last 5 games. They're capable of chucking the football over the field. And if USC's offense get going, Iowa will not trade points with them. Hawkeyes aren't built to trade points. They're a defense first football team, and Nathan Stanley's he's a ham and egger. But if USC does what they do, which is mistakes, penalties, turnovers, unfocused play, etc. Iowa's primed to roll a team like that. So I don't know which of the two scenarios is more likely. Therefore, I'm not going to get involved with the wager. I think Dave has a strong opinion about which of those is going to be more likely. Hence the wager.
Yeah, guys, and head over to wagertalk.com. You can get Dave's play there. Or better yet, buy his full year for half price, $1,000 off. Use the promo code Dave Boxing Day. That offer is only up until Monday. Last game on Friday, 10:15 Eastern, Washington State versus Air Force, with Air Force favored at -2.5. There's a couple of threes on the board and a big total of 68.5. Teddy, where are you going in this one?
So my rule with service academies is they're one-way games for me. And there's two service academies in the postseason this year. That would be obviously Navy and Air Force. And if I'm playing a bowl game with a service academy team, I'm playing on the service academy, period. We're talking about a sample size of 20 years where they're cashing at a 70% clip. It's really hard for me to step in front of that because they always show up and they're always ready to play. And Washington State, the offense for the Cougars has always been a rhythm offense. When they get going, week after week, they're scoring in the 40s and they're cranking. Look at Wazoo, first game of the season under Leach. They've been bad, ATS. You look at them in particular in bowl games. Last year, they got to 28 against Iowa State. The year before, 17. The year before, 12. The year before, 20. They're not lighting up the scoreboard in late December and January with this offense. I don't know that Air Force is going to stop them. My lean would be towards the over, but I can't play an Air Force game in this. How many possessions are these two teams going to get in this game? It's not going to be one of these games where both teams are getting 15 possessions. And there's ample opportunities because Air Force wants the long time-consuming drive. Lean Falcons, lean under. I haven't gotten the window with either one yet.
Dave?
So this is a really difficult game for me because my power ratings say you're supposed to play Washington State here. My power ratings favor Washington State. But the things that Teddy just brought up are conflicts to that. Let's put it that way. Air Force is going to be ready to play this football game. Washington State's track record, Leach's track record in bowl games is unimpressive. And I've watched enough Washington State football this year to come away largely unimpressed with them. This is one of the teams where I don't trust my power ratings because they racked up impressive points in a bunch of games, but it was against teams that were geared not to stop what they had, and I think Washington State benefited from that. It's not that Air Force is great against the pass, and I don't think they're going to shut down this team, but they're going to control the ball. And the Washington State defense could very well wear down this game. I think this is a live betting game. I think you watch this one early and get a feel for how into it Washington State is. I'm going to be looking to play Air Force live in this game. If they fall behind early, I think there's a good chance I'll get on Air Force as a dog in-game. I'm not going to lay points with them pre-game, though.
Guys, before we get into the Saturday games, Iowa State, Notre Dame up first, can I change topics for 2 minutes, Teddy?
Sure, we have plenty of time, dude. Knock yourself out.
Okay, so really interesting story I read today, and something that I think is relevant to you guys down in Vegas. Long story short, guy's a gambling addict. He's been banned out of every casino in Ontario, except the casino in Windsor. He heads up to the casino in Windsor. They roll out the red carpet for him. He loses all his money, walks out of the casino and jumps in front of a bus to kill himself. He failed on his suicide attempt and got money from his insurance company, $325,000, in which he then waited until he was out of the hospital, drove back up to the Casino Niagara, and lost the entire amount. He then is now currently suing Casino Niagara for close to $1 million for allowing him to gamble. This is not a cut and dry scenario here, because I think he has a leg to stand on, but my gut tells me that, well, it's his responsibility to not gamble his bloody life savings away. I'm just curious. You guys live in Vegas. This stuff must happen there. What do you think of something like this?
I don't know. I have no.
Well,
I have no.
is the
I have no.
casino responsible, knowing that he's been banned
Look,
from all other casinos?
my attitude. No, I don't. I have no legal expertise, so all I'm offering you is my opinion. You're responsible for your own actions.
Teddy, what do you think here?
Do I think he's going to win the case?
Well, yeah, yes, and ethically and morally, from a non-legal perspective.
I think there are people out there that are legitimately gambling addicts. I think that those people should be helped, not encouraged to gamble more.
Yeah, but here's the one problem with that. You can only be helped if you want to be helped.
Correct.
Okay.
Oh, wholeheartedly, dude. I mean,
Dude, they sent a limo to pick him up, brought him to Casino Niagara, 4-hour drive, gave him an escort, rolled out the red carpet for him. He lost the $325,000 over 3 days. So he went back home, came back. He's on the registry for not being allowed to gamble, and Casino Windsor didn't get that notification. I think he's got a case.
All right. So he'll win the case, and then he'll blow the money that he wins in the case.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they should do.
Well,
we'll give you a settlement, but only if you gamble it at our casino. Anyway, you know, we got a lot of gamblers who listen to our show, and I find that such a fascinating story. Okay, let's get into the Saturday games. Noon Eastern, Iowa State plus 3.5 versus Notre Dame, 54.5 on board. Dave, you lead the way, my friend.
I think you might get a defensive game here. I'm not a totals guy, but this looks like a matchup where you get ball control on both sides, and you might get a lower scoring game than some anticipate. So that's kind of the way I'd look at this game. I think it's one of the best games out there. As far as if you're looking for a good game to watch, just as a college football fan, Iowa State Notre Dame looks like a real good battle that could go either way.
Teddy, where are you at with this one?
Yeah, I'm not really close to getting involved in this one. We've already seen this total get bet down, and 57 at the open, 54.5 as we speak. I wouldn't argue with the concept of an under here. That being said, I like both these quarterbacks, and I don't look to play unders in games where I like the quarterback on both sides. My concern, of course, Notre Dame last year plays Clemson. The year before they play LSU. I don't know if this bowl game has their same attention the way recent ones has. So lean of the dog, lean of the under. Haven't played either one.
Guys, again, hope you're having a wonderful holiday. New Year's coming soon. Teddy, you doing anything for New Year's? Yeah, Lawrence, I'm studying college football because I've got so much work to do. Did I just pretty much sum it up?
No, not New Year's Eve. I'll do something new. I got an 8-year-old kid. I'll hang out with him on New Year's Eve and see how long he can stay up.
And just to let everyone know, I've met Teddy's kid. Unbelievable. And he's a savant on the drums, dude. You should post. You got to tweet out your kid playing drums with an adult band at age 7 on the streets of Las Vegas.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm trying to let him be a kid, dude. Well, he'll get to times where we're tweeting it out, and we'll get a page for him down the line. But right now, he's in third grade, and we're gonna let him be in third grade.
Dave, you doing anything special?
Nah, New Year's is no big deal to me. Never has been, really.
Me either, my brother. Memphis plus 7 against Penn State, 60.5. Dave, I'll go to you first.
Yeah, the public loves Penn State in this game. Got a friend of mine who's in a bunch of those pools, and he did some tracking of it's the confidence pools, and he did some tracking to see. And it's Squaresville all the way. It's not a sharp pool, and Penn State's like the runaway for the most confident team out there. So you might want to factor that in if you want. One thing would worry me though is, look, James Franklin's been at his best in the games that don't matter that much. And this one probably doesn't matter that much, where, Penn State doesn't rattle in games like this. They go out there and they just beat up teams they're physically superior to, and that could happen here. So public side will be Penn State, and I'm not necessarily going to go against them.
I mean, Franklin hasn't won a bowl game by more than a touchdown since he's been at Penn State. I don't want the favorite here. I really don't want the favorite. And of course, Memphis, the coach left, the coordinators are gone, et cetera, et cetera. You can understand there may be, it could be a situation where Memphis just isn't right. I haven't gotten that sense from the Tigers yet. And if I'm playing, I'll be looking at the dog in this one.
Boys, the two big ones. Saturday, December 28th, 4 p.m. Eastern. LSU, with it looks like a whole lot of money coming in on them. Minus 13.5, a massive total of 76. Dave, regale us with this.
Look, on the numbers, the line's too high, okay? But LSU has already done a really good job of destroying numbers all year long. And the most recent one was the Georgia game, where that line's too high. On the math, the line was too high, especially against a good defensive football team like Georgia. And, well, you saw what happened there. And now they're facing a not good defensive team in Oklahoma that, quite frankly, has just not been impressive. If Brewer doesn't get hurt, there's every chance they lose the Baylor game. They've had a bunch of unimpressive games down the stretch. I think this is a 3-team playoff with Oklahoma as the party crasher. And I might just go against the math here. Well, I probably won't now because the number's gotten out of hand. But I think I probably made a mistake not jumping on LSU early in this game. I'll end up kind of sitting it out at this point. If I do get involved, it'll be in-game. Maybe Oklahoma gets off to a good start and gets me a bargain price on LSU at some point. I don't see the Tigers not advancing here. I think LSU will be a comfortable winner.
Teddy?
Yeah, I'm definitely not ready to lay with LSU in this game. And it's funny how your memory versus when you go back and look at it afterwards, you're like, oh, that didn't correlate. I remember Oklahoma having a rough time in the playoffs each of the last 2 years. They've been and lost and failed to cover in either game. Heck, the Georgia game 2 years ago, 54-48. Last year, they lose to Alabama, 45-34. They cover plus 15, and they move the football both years against pretty good defenses. So, yes, Oklahoma has lost their playoff opener each of the last 2 years, but they've been on this stage before, and they haven't lost a game by 2 touchdowns in this range. I worry about Burrow and the circuit that he's been on. Dude's won a lot of awards, and we know that historically the Heisman winner has done poorly in bowl games. That hasn't been the case in recent seasons. There hasn't been a discernible trend in recent seasons. Although if you go back 25, 30 years, it's a significant trend to bet against the Heisman winner. But I do worry about Burrow's focus, and I worry about LSU being able to find that offensive rhythm right from the get-go. I guess I lean dog here. I don't really get to the window with it, but I lean Oklahoma plus the points.
Teddy, just in keeping with this game, because obviously it's really one of the 2 games that most people want to listen to and watch. I know Dave doesn't do totals, but 76 feels like a large number. But then you look at these 2 teams, and in all seriousness, 14 points can be put up in 5 minutes.
14 points can be put up in 30 seconds in this game.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm willing to bet that there's at least one time in this game where you get 2 touchdowns in less than a minute, where somebody scores and somebody scores right back. I'm confident that we'll see enough offensive fireworks to make this 76 a reasonable total for this game. I'm not going to get involved in the total here. I'm not willing to bet the under, and I'm not going to ask the 2 teams to get to 11 touchdowns. Pass.
I actually like the over in the first half in this game. Clemson -2 against Ohio State. This game is sexy as hell. 63.5 is the total. Teddy, I'll go to you first.
Okay. Go to me first.
Okay, you've now been gone to first.
Oh, okay. Because you just say, I'll go to you first, and then you ask a question.
I don't need to ask you anything, bro. You know what we're talking about. This ain't a show about movies.
Okay, so let's talk about Clemson in particular. You can only play the teams that are on your schedule. True. Who's the best team Clemson beat this year?
Hey, you
I
better
think
be
it's A&M.
careful, Teddy. I went down this path on our last show and got lectured from Dave.
Not
Okay.
about, no, it
No,
had
I'm
nothing to
just
do with
kidding.
this.
Go ahead, Teddy.
Clemson quality wins this year. They beat A&M. They didn't sniff a point spread cover in that game. Offense didn't work in that game. What's their second best win? Virginia in a throwaway game for the Cavs? I mean, I do not disrespect Clemson's talent level at all. I am concerned about what's going to happen to Clemson when they face a real team for the first time all year, or the first time since September. And that has me looking at the Ohio State side. So the only way I can play this is Buckeyes plus the points, because I know that Ohio State's battle tested. And again, what'd you do for me lately? Last time out, Clemson gets the money, Ohio State doesn't. What do bettors remember? The last thing they saw. That's real. Ohio State got tested by Wisconsin. Wisconsin's better than anyone that Clemson faced all year, maybe including A&M, or right there with them. So I'm not surprised they got tested. And they showed better in that game than Clemson did against A&M. I'm on the Buckeyes, clearly. It's going to be a service play. You just got it for free. Cheers.
Well, there you go, guys. Watch the college football betting show. Teddy is releasing Ohio State to his customers. You can pay for that play, or you can just remember what he said. Dave, I'm with Teddy on this. Where are you at?
A mild disagreement on the Texas A&M game, because if you remember that game, Jimbo Fisher used all of his timeouts in the last minute to get a touchdown and cover the spread. Clemson pretty well dominated that football game. But that's a throwaway. It was a long time ago. And Clemson has gotten much better as the season's progressed. And my worry here is Fields, who is not 100%.
About 80%, he says.
Yeah. And he's going to be facing a real nasty defense in Clemson. Nevertheless, I agree completely with Teddy in terms of the line being influenced by what we've seen at the end of the season, which was Clemson, steamrolling some weaker opposition in the ACC. And boy, I mean, you couldn't have caught Virginia in a worse spot than Clemson did, because Virginia put everything into the Virginia Tech game and just kind of showed up for the Clemson game. And Ohio State's had some struggles, but against some really good teams. And guess what? They passed the test in all those games and were really good in the second half of all those games. My numbers still favor Ohio State in this game. So when push comes to shove, Ohio State plus anything is going to end up a play for me as well.
We're all aligned on that one, boys. Just remember, everybody, we have a huge Boxing Week special. Regular price for Dave Cokin or Teddy's full year of plays, every sport, every play, every day, $1,999. I took $1,000 off of this package. You could get a year of Dave for $999. Use the promo code Dave Boxing Day, and same with Teddy. Teddy Boxing Day. And again, perspective, Dave Cokin's Major League Baseball alone is going to be $700-800. So this is a monster deal. We're not going to be giving out much better than this. So head over to wagertalk.com and take advantage of it. And also check out the NFL presidential address with Ralph Michaels. It's up around 9 p.m. Eastern on Thursday night. Monday's games, boys. 4 games, and then we're done for today. Teddy, I'll go to you first. Western Kentucky, -3.5 versus Western Michigan, 54 on board. What do you like?
So I'm leaning towards a dog in this one. And I know that the MAC historically hasn't done particularly well. And I know the last MAC team we saw, Central Michigan against San Diego State, didn't look particularly good. I'm a believer in this Broncos offense. I am. And this is a game, again, with the total sitting at 54. That's not a Western Kentucky total. They're not a team that's going to march up and down the field. If they're going to win this game, they're going to have to do it with their defense. The Broncos are balanced, okay? They can run the football. They got a senior QB who can chuck it around. And it's an explosive offense. They make big plays. Western Kentucky doesn't do any of that. Hilltoppers definitely correlate with under in this ball game. I'm looking at the other side.
Dave Cokin.
This will be this will definitely be a play for me. The question is whether it will be a 4 or 5% play. And so therefore I'm not going to tell you which side I like in this game, but I have what I would consider a very strong opinion in this game.
Well, hey, listen, boys. This is what we do for a living, so respect. As they say in Jamaica, respect, man. Illinois against California. A lot of money coming in on California. -6.5. The total is 43. Dave, I'll go to you first.
Yeah. Let me just flip to this game on my notes here. I'm going to end up on Illinois in this game. I'd like to get 7. I like the way they're playing. I mean, I think Lovie Smith's he's done a good job with this football team. They're playing with a lot of confidence. And this is one where I'm going to look back at the Pac-12 track record in Bulls, which sucks. It's a league that's just not that good. And I think that's the case again this year. I mean, I wish Utah or Oregon had gotten to the playoffs, because I'd have been firing against either one of those two teams. They're not at this level. And I think as you go down the conference, it remains the same. California's a decent team, certainly a very good defensive team, and with Garbers on the healthy, they're better offensively than when he wasn't there. So a little bit of the California stuff is skewed, because the games where he was injured, they were really pathetic offensively, and the defense just wore out. But even with him on the field, I'm looking at my numbers in the game here, and I think Illinois is a better football team. And Illinois has gotten better as the season's gone along. I know Lovie comes in for a lot of negative talk, but he's done a good job with this team. And I think Illinois is going to win this football game. So this is one where, I'm going to probably take Illinois on the spread and probably sprinkle a bit on the money line as well.
I like it. Teddy?
I agree with everything that Dave said.
Well, then let's just leave it at that.
Yes. Okay.
And this will be, I know I've backed off saying my opinion on a couple of games because I'm selling them. This will be a play for me. I will definitely be involved with Illinois in some way. So I'm not passing every game I like.
Outstanding stuff, guys. You're both on fire today. 2 more games left, Florida. It's crossed 14. We've got 15 on the board. A total of 54. Teddy, I'll go to you first.
Boy, I'm tempted by the dog here. I am. I'm tempted. I haven't pulled the trigger yet, but I'm tempted by Virginia. And it has everything to do with their recency bias. We just saw Virginia non-competitive against Clemson. As bad as a team can look. It was the ultimate no-show game, blown off the field. I don't think Virginia's that team. Okay. It was a throwaway game. They were outclassed. They're not outclassed here in the same way by the Florida Gators. So I lean dog. Haven't pulled the trigger yet, but I may well get there.
Dave, you with him?
No, and it's in the lean category for me too, because I really don't like laying big numbers in bowl games. But if the right Florida shows up, that defense will it'll just dominate the Virginia offense. And the Virginia defense is okay, but not good enough to contain Trask and company for the whole game. My worry would be the interest level for Florida. Virginia's just not that attractive an opponent. And I would have preferred to see Florida against somebody I know they're going to be excited to face. This is the problem with real big favorites in bowl games. My attitude and their attitude might be the same. Well, all we got to do is pretty much show up here, and we're going to win. And it becomes really tough to cover those games. So, my numbers favor Florida by like 16, 17. But it'll probably be a game I end up passing because of the fact I just don't know how interested Florida's going to be.
Yeah, well, listen, Dave, I can tell you from life experience, it's always hard to perform at your best when playing with an unattractive opponent. Ba-boom. Okay. Mississippi State -4 against Louisville, 63.5. Dave?
Well, Louisville has overachieved in an amazing fashion this year, which is a tribute to Satterfield, who's done an absolutely great coaching job. Mississippi State is a team that I think has underachieved to some extent. And there's already some rumblings. He's safe for now, and I think he's safe next year. But could be interesting to see what happens with Moorhead down the road, because he really came there with the reputation of, okay, this team's going to be exciting to watch. And actually, they've been a kind of a dud to watch. Look, I know Mississippi State's got better talent overall from top to bottom than Louisville. But this Louisville team, they've got a real attitude. And listen, they got their teeth kicked in Kentucky game to finish the season. And I think that might actually work out for them here. That actually might be a plus for them here. I don't think they're going to be satisfied with what they accomplished during the season because of the way the regular season ended. So even though I think Mississippi State's the better football team, kind of considering the Louisville side here.
Theodore?
And these two teams met in their bowl 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was a competitive game, 31-27. Mississippi State came away. They were the dogs in that contest. Obviously, they're the favorites in this one. I thought the Bulldogs played their best football of the year in November. And they were a team that got better as the season progressed. I don't know if that was the case for Louisville, but the time off, the time off may give it a chance for the Cardinals to get back to where they were. You talk about that Kentucky game, and they had a couple of dicey efforts down the stretch, which showed what the talent level that they have. It's not a game I'm going to play. It's not a game I'm close to playing, side or total. 63.5 at first glance seems a little bit high, and then you think Mississippi State just might be able to score a whole bunch in this one, and Louisville's not going to stop chucking the football around. So a pass for me, not one I'm going to play.
He's Teddy Covers, wagertalk.com. Dave Cokin, the legend, also at wagertalk.com. We are about 7 weeks away from First Pitch. It's a baseball show that Dave Cokin and I do every single day, Monday to Friday, all throughout the summer. So stay tuned for that.
Give that time frame again?
Yeah, I think we're a little more than 6 to 7 weeks away.
April. Yeah, we are. We are.
Yeah,
January, February. Yeah, we're 12 weeks away. Oh my God! Thank God this show is over. Boys, outstanding stuff today. Teddy, Dave, let me know what time on Monday we'll tape, and we'll get the final college football betting show of the year done. It was a real pleasure. I hope you guys have an absolutely wonderful day and weekend. And just remember, everybody, half price for either of these guys is full year of plays, every sport, every day. All year long. Teddy, Boxing Day. Dave, Boxing Day. I'm the Prez, Lawrence Presman. It's a privilege to do the show with you two, and I'll speak to both of you on Monday.